But to be honest, back up. Because if you can tell that I got all them little hairs there, you too close. So back up. Hey everybody, welcome back to Andyland. It's your girl Andy. Today's video has been highly requested. It's my brow tutorials. If you've watched any of my other videos, you guys know I switch between using a pencil and a pomade, so I decided to make sure that I incorporated both brow tutorials in this video. So on one brow I'm using a pomade, and on the other brow I'm using a pencil. Comment down below and see if you can guess which brow is which. I will be listing the products I used on my brows down in the description box. This is just a regular beat, guys. I promise you we'll do an updated foundation routine soon, but this is all about the brows today. So before we begin, make sure you are subscribed to my channel, like this video, hit the notification bell so you don't miss any future uploads, and keep watching. Alright guys, so as I said in the intro, we're doing brows today. Y'all have asked me repeatedly, so we doing it. I got my brows groomed when I went to Cincinnati. So I now feel comfortable bringing y'all in close. So first things first, I'm gonna take the NYX brow glue. This is like my holy grail. My eyebrows have a mind of their own, so I need to be able to make sure that those brow hairs stay in place. A close second would be the Fenty Beauty Brow MVP. It's the wax stick. One of these two products will help you. I know a lot of people like to use like the soap brows, the ABH dip brow freeze and stuff, but I like to use the NYX brow glue because one, it's affordable and it gets the job done. So I really, come on in y'all, I really just run these through my brows and help put those brow hairs into place. Literally brush them out, comb them out. If you guys watch my channel, you know my brows struggle. They struggle. My dad made a point of that in the voiceover he did for me, asking where the rest of my brows are. He needs to ask his wife. But I like to also let this dry down before I go in with any product. So while that's drying down, I'll talk to you about the products I'm going to use to fill in my brows. I'm going to use this Ruby Kisses brow pencil. It's in the shade dark brown. It is kind of worn off because I've used it so much. I'll use this on one brow, and then I'll pair it. I usually pair a pencil with the NYX Lift and Snatch brow pen. Amazing for creating hairs because, as you can see, I'm brow deficient in some areas. And then the other brow, I'm going to use the Anastasia Beverly Hills Dipbrow pomade in the shade Chocolate, and their 7B brush. It has a spoolie on one end and an angle side on the other. Yeah, I know it's a little dirty. I do my brows sometimes when I don't even feel like doing a full face. So the Dipbrow is the more high-end product. Ruby Kisses pencil I got from the hair store. Do not sleep on hair store products. A lot of my friends always ask me, hair store brow pencils are life, okay? Y'all see me use these in a couple of my tutorials. It gets the job done. You would never be able to tell that I spent, what, $2.99 on a pencil? Okay, my brows are dry now. So I'm gonna go in with the Ruby Kisses brow pencil first. It does have a spoolie on one end. So I'm gonna zoom you guys in so you guys can see. All right, so when I'm doing my brows, the first thing I wanna do is create the shape of my brow. So I usually start about here, a little bit past, or a little bit before where the arch is. And I kinda create the shape that I want underneath. And then I kind of come back to the front. See? Now that I've created the shape that I want for my brow, yes, I like my brows a little bit more dramatic than like the normal shape that my brows have. Usually when I'm doing my clients, I kind of follow their natural brow shape unless they ask for otherwise. I like to be extra. So do that, and then I come to the top and create the shape of the top and connect it to the bottom. And now now I'm just gonna take the pencil and I'm gonna fill in all those gaps that I see in my hairs. So especially around the tail where I'm severely lacking. And I'm not gonna go all the way to the front. I'm gonna leave the front open, and I'm gonna show you guys what we're gonna do there. So you're just gonna fill your brows in. You don't want any gaps. And then to blend them out, you're gonna take that spoolie. Boom. Alright, so brows almost done. Now you can do this one of two ways. You can either use your pencil and just create light brush stroke, like light brow strokes up front. And I usually like to just kind of brush up from the bottom so it kind of has that natural ombre effect. You don't want a box brow. So see, boom, baby. And that's a brow, and that's it. I'm gonna also take the lift and snatch pen. This is something I also do. I usually do this when I do a little bit more of a fluffier brow, and I just kind of go through and create little brow strokes around, especially in the front. Don't worry if you make them a little dark on accident, or you can tone that down with your spoolie. Alright, I'm going to take the spoolie, just brushing through. And that's a brow. Alright, so brow one is done. Pretty good brow if I do say so myself. Alright, so now for the other side, I'm going to use the Dipbrow. Again, it's in the shade Chocolate, and mine's kind of used. So I usually just take my brush and dip it into the pomade and kind of do like a little swiping motion. And I do basically the same thing except with my brush. So I'm going to start and create the shape under my brow. Make that arch. Drag it connected to the front. And then I'm going to create the shape at the top. You notice I never actually start all the way at the front of my brow. I always kind of start in the middle and then go back to the front. And then I'm gonna fill in the brow. With the pomade, I usually use this to create bolder brows. So especially if I'm doing photo shoots, for some reason, it just looks better to me. But I mean, don't get me wrong, I've definitely used the pencils sometimes too. Honestly, it really depends on what I'm feeling like, but 9 times out of 10, I'm using the Dipbrow for my photo shoots. Now, when I say filling in, I'm basically going in and doing little itty bitty lines. You see those right there? Those little lines? I'm doing little lines to mimic hair strokes, especially on places where my brow is sparse. So like the lady who waxed my brows took a little bit too much off right here. So I want to try to make that not look as empty of a space. and then brush it through. Alright, now brows need to look like sisters, not twins, but you can see I've definitely arched this a little bit more and it's a little bit darker. And it's more because it's mainly because I used a different shade. I should have used my dark brown pomade instead of the chocolate, but we're here now, so. Now that I have done my brows, the next step is to conceal. Now, a lot of people like to do highlighter brows. Some people do a lighter shade and a darker shade on top. I personally prefer not to conceal the top of my brows. And I like to go in with a concealer that's closer to my skin tone to conceal underneath my brows. So I usually take a concealer. I'm gonna use the Makeup Revolution Conceal and Define Concealer in the shade C13 and a flat top brush, and I'm going to clean up underneath my brows. It's a little bit more difficult when my brows aren't done, as you guys have seen in many of my tutorials, but to be honest, back up, because if you can tell that I got all them little hairs there, you too close, so back up. All right, so I'm gonna take my brush, I'm gonna dip it onto the concealer, and I'm gonna start at my arch and just and then drag it to the front and literally just clear out, clean up those edges at the bottom. Now, if I'm having a rough day, sometimes I may mess up and will need to clean up the top of my brow or even sometimes the tail. That's okay, especially because I like to use a concealer close to my skin tone. It's not as bad. But once that concealer is on there, I take a denser buffing brush. This is the Morphe M173 brush, and I just blend out that concealer. Boom. All right, I'm gonna do the other side. Alright, and then blend it out again. Alright, brows is browning, guys. I feel like I need to put that on a shirt, brows is browning. But yeah, I think I'm good. I could have brought this brow down a little bit. Actually, I'm going to just add some strokes. All right, so those are my brows, guys. To be honest, both of these brows are phenomenal. If for any reason you feel like your brows look super dark, if you guys watched my tutorial with my chit chat get ready with me with Jay, you would have seen me advise her to set her brows. So you can take a powder, Usually I like to use a translucent powder. I'm gonna take my Fenty Pro Filter powder in the shade Banana, and literally just gonna dip it into the lid. So I'm not really taking out any product, and I'm going to set my brow. This helps if you have oily brows as well. And then usually once you're done with your makeup, just take a spoolie, run through. Or you could take some brow gel. Because I use the NYX brow glue in the beginning, I usually don't go in with brow gel afterward because my brows be stuck in there. And then usually tones them down nicely. Dust that powder away. Or you could spray your face, either one. And it usually tones down your brows a tad bit so they're not as bold. And since my hair is so light, we're gonna do that. Usually I would do this towards the end of my makeup, but yeah. So what do you guys think of these brows, y'all? So those are 2 ways that I typically do my brows. Either way really works. It really just depends on my mood. My brows do tend to last, and not everybody has nice fluffy brows, so I have to create my brows in the shape that I want. So that's what I did, and I'm gonna finish up the rest of my face and then come back to y'all with final thoughts. Hey guys, so I finished my face off camera and brows are still intact. So whether you want to use a cheap hair store pencil or an expensive pomade, you can achieve the brow that you want. So I really hope that this tutorial helped you guys who were struggling with your brows. I know brows are really subjective, so some people like a fluffier brow, some people like a more sculpted brow, some people have really full brows, and some people like me have none. So comment down below if you guys have any questions, if you guys would like to see a more in-depth only one product, if you have a specific brow product that you would like me to try, let me know. Be sure to like this video and subscribe to my channel, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.